Today, I'm taking over Manchester City for the next 10 seasons. And normally, managing City would be the easiest job in the world. But with Pep Guardiola stepping down, club legends like John Stones and Bernardo Silva leaving, and Ballon d'Or winner Rodri on the verge of joining Barcelona, the City dynasty is falling apart. So over the next 10 seasons, I'll have to build a brand new generation and see if I can continue Pep's dominance and keep Man City as the world's best team. And in order to be the world's best team, we need to complete some challenges. Like up first is winning 25 trophies. Maybe I should shave my head like Pep. That's the only way I would win 25 trophies. The second challenge I need to do is win 6 Premier League titles. That is exactly the same amount Pep won, and he actually did it in 10 seasons. So it's definitely possible for me to do it. I also need to go ahead and win 2 UCL trophies, as Pep Guardiola was only able to win 1 here at City, which was also the same season he won his only treble at Man City, which means I also have to win at least 1 treble at the club. And the next challenge is to have 3 total Ballon d'Or wins. And as we know, Rodri was the only one to win it. However, we obviously do have Erling Haaland in our side, and he's only allowed to win 2 Ballon d'Ors. So our third Ballon d'Or winner needs to be somebody else. And finally, my last challenge, following Man City's current trend, I have to go ahead and sign 5 different players worth 100 million, but they have to be successful. What does that mean? Well, in order for those 100 million signings to be perfect, they have to be part of a Premier League winning side at least once. That won't be easy. So this is the team I'm taking over in season number 1. It looks incredible. And because we're starting in the 26-27 season, we have new transfers like backup goalkeeper Geronimo Rulli, amazing wonder kid in Jeremy Monga, and of course the $100 million signing Elliot Anderson. And to answer your question, no, he does not count in the $500 million signings. And Pep and Maresca actually both played the 4-2-3-1 wide. However, my favorite style of play in real life right now is what Hansi Flick is doing at FC Barcelona. So I'm gonna go ahead and steal his team sheet, and this is the brand new formation we will be playing. And these tactics are 4-2-1-3 with 2 DMs and a center attacking mid. However, the number 10 is a shadow striker rather than a playmaker. The Lamine Yamal spot is the wide playmaker, and of course Rafinha's role is an inside. And this is probably our best lineup we can put out with these tactics. And to be honest, there isn't a lot of weak spots. We definitely need a brand new right back, maybe a brand new center attacking mid to rotate or even take over Foden's position, and maybe even a backup striker, because I'm not sure Marmoush can help us win multiple Prems and Champions League. But wait a minute, we have our first unexpected event. We will have one every single season, but it's always gonna be something big. And the event is contract termination. Boss, I know you are new here, but I'm sorry to inform you, I have terminated my contract. As the club did not want to accept the offer from Barca, I will now join them on a free. Good luck. So there we go. Rodri has joined FC Barcelona for absolutely free. We're losing our best player and our cap, but he isn't the only one that left, as I sold Jack Grealish for 19 million and Calvin Phillips for 3 million, as we loaned out a bunch of talents that can maybe help us win some trophies in the future. But of course, the problem remains. Nico Gonzalez and Elliot Anderson are not good enough to play together. We need somebody world class and also a leader. And well, we do have 250 million to spend. Let's look for replacements. And the first player on my short list is actually Federico Valverde. Real Madrid's captain got in a fight with Tchouaméni last year, so we might be able to convince him to join the City project. However, from 97 to 122 million, it'd probably be higher than that. That is most of our budget. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with that. The second option is Joshua Kimmich. I know you think he's a Bayern forever, but with 51 million, 64 million, money does talk, and we might be able to convince him. What about Frankie de Jong? Rodri literally just joined them. He's gonna get less minutes, but is he the leader we need to guide us to trophies? Or finally, he's linked in real life, Enzo Fernandez. He's been the captain of a young Chelsea side for years. He is very young, and more importantly, could cost under 100 million. But should I force the 100 million mark and try to make him into one of the perfect $100 million signings? So I'm gonna go ahead and have a think about it. We could get him for way cheaper, but screw it, man. We're taking our first risk for 100 million. They want a 105. We're gonna spend 100 anyways. So for 101 million, Enzo Fernandez now joins Manchester City. He's going to be a brand new leader, and if he could be part of a Premier League winning side, he'll be the first perfect signing. So there we go. Enzo Fernandez will now be playing next to Elliot Anderson. That is a great midfield, and we're immediately going to give him the deep line playmaker role. Now the next position I mentioned is an out-and-out right back, because I do want to convert Mateus Nunes to a CDM so he can be the backup to Enzo Fernandez. And surprisingly, he did not go down in overall. But now the only right back we have in the side is Rico Lewis, and he's not good enough to start. And the first option is the world's best right back in Achraf Hakimi. However, he'd cost over 100 million, and that would basically be our entire budget. No more players left to sign. The second option is someone like Trent Alexander-Arnold. Real Madrid just signed Denzel Dumfries, so he might not be the out-and-out starter. But maybe right now it's a little bit too too unrealistic. So that leaves me with my final two options. Someone like Tino Livramento, who's just at Marseille, but we can just snap him up again. Pedro Porro, who has just won the World Cup, and for only 33 million, I think he'd work well behind Ryan Cherki. And I decided for 37 million to get the Spanish man, Pedro Porro, World Cup winner for a reason. Let's save him from Tottenham, and I think he'd actually thrive in this system as well. So Pedro Porro is now the new starting fullback. Now, there's two things I want to talk about for our next two signings. The first one is Savinho. I mentioned I wanted a good backup to Cherki, but I'm going to give him one last chance here at City. And if you look at his stats, he's more of a traditional winger, but I'm going to train him to be a wide playmaker. But if he does not get at least 8 assists this season, I will be selling him and replacing him with someone else. Now, the next player comes with Phil Foden. He has 10 months left on his contract. I don't plan on selling him this year, so we're gonna go ahead and give him a new contract. However, it's not gonna be a 5-year contract. He wants 3 years. I'm gonna offer 2 years, and he says yes. If he does not impress me in these next 2 years, then sorry, we're moving on from the Foden project and getting a new starting 10. So now with his new contract, he is the only cam that is not out on loan. So I'm bringing somebody else to rotate with him. So the question is, should we bring in an older option like Paulo Dybala, who is the perfect shadow striker and would be extremely cheap, and hope that Phil Foden will succeed? Or bring in direct competition like Dani Olmo, or the perfect player for the system in Fermin Lopez? But that means Phil Foden will probably fail and we'd eventually sell him. Or go for somebody younger like Malik Tillman, former wonder kid Adam Hosleg from the Bundesliga. The question is, do I back Phil Foden or do I not? And I decided to trust Phil Foden, so I'm bringing in a young player in Adam Hosleg. And there we go. Adam Hosleg joins the bench, and this side looks absolutely incredible. I'm very happy with the 3 signings we have made. But let's go to the end of season number 1 and see how many trophies we win. And end of season 1, this is a disaster. How is Haaland only scoring 18 goals? He played 53 games. It's not like he was injured, but maybe it's because they're spread out. 17 goals for Omar Marmoush. Savinho got 13 goals, but I told him 8 assists. He's not supposed to be scoring the goals. Just come on, look at Cherki. 10 goals and 11 assists. He did his job. I have a big decision to make on him. But 9 goals and 14 assists for Enzo Fernandez. 8 goals for Jeremy Doku. Phil Foden had a decent season. 7 and 6. We're still gonna think about transferring him soon. 5 and 6 for Elliot Anderson as well. Yo, Antoine Semenyo had an injury. That is a huge disappointment from him. But the squad growth looks insane. Erling Haaland at a 93. Phil Foden went up a +2. Cherki 86. Semenyo 85, but he was injured, remember? Enzo Fernandez 88. Elliot Anderson 84. This backline looks insane. But I noticed Ainoudi is higher rated than Nico O'Reilly. Keep that in mind for next year. And yes, we win our first trophy and our first Premier League. Our first out of 6 and our first trophy out of 25. But we failed to win the FA Cup, so no trouble going on. And the Carabao Cup was won by Liverpool. They won a double. And well, in the Champions League, we finished in 6th place. That is good so far. Round of 16, we beat Napoli. Quarterfinals, we beat Inter. But we lost in the semis to Real Madrid, man, as they ended up winning the entire thing. But don't forget, Enzo Fernandez has a Premier League medal. So here's our first perfect $100 million signing. And of course, the first Ballon d'Or win is given to Lamine Yamal. Haaland only scored 18 goals. But overall, good for season. 1 trophy, 1 Premier League, and 1 perfect $100 million signing. So we're now in season number 2. It's time to make a decision. Savinho, you may have scored a decent amount of goals, but that was not your role. You're getting on the transfer list. I might be unfair, but that's the only way we achieve all of these achievements. But it's time for our next unexpected event, and boys, it's not a good one. Me or the system. Boss, I hate to be that guy, but I really struggled with the new system. I need everyone around me to create chances for me, not get in my way. Change the system, or I must leave for my legacy. Boys, Erling Braut Haaland, our best player, typically a chill guy, has made a request. It feels like a threat, but he is being honest. Players like Semenyo, Jeremy Doku, Phil Foden, and Hosleg were taking chances away from him. So the question is, do we turn that left wing spot and that attacking spot to playmaking machines, or get rid of Erling Haaland and lose the potential of Ballon d'Or wins and Champions League wins? This might be a bad decision because no player is bigger than the club, but we're changing Semenyo and that left wing spot to a wide playmaker and Phil Foden to a playmaker plus because we still need Erling Haaland. He is bigger than the club right now up until we at least win. But boys, I have a big transfer list here. Kovacic is getting of age. We already spoke about Savinho. Kabore is just not gonna reach his potential, but someone like Ainoudi is at an 85 overall. But my priority is Nico O'Reilly. He cannot take away minutes from our youth talent. And this is extremely harsh, but I'm getting rid of Antoine Semenyo. He does not fit that wide playmaker role, and we need to make sure Erling Haaland has the best players around him. And the first offer for Semenyo comes in, and it's from Liverpool. I'm not gonna reject it, but I'm not gonna accept. I really don't want to sell him to other Premier League rivals. Ooh, boys, interesting. Arsenal have come in for Phil Foden, and we could get Odegaard. And he is a stereotypical playmaker, but I'm gonna reject it for now. But the first offer for Savinho comes in 74 million. I'm taking that and running from Atalanta. And an 81 million offer for Aitnudi. Yeah, he is gone as well. Nico O'Reilly is gonna be the starter, man. And we get a follow-up offer from Bayern Munich for more money. Yeah, take him, man. Just take him. But the Semenyo offer is about to expire. I might have to accept, but because there are rivals, they won 2 trophies last year. I'm gonna bump this up to 70 mil. Come on, give me as much as possible, Liverpool. Iraola says yes. No wonder. If you guys have enjoyed this video so far, subscribe and let me know down below what 10 season takeover I should do next. This has been really fun so far. So the starting 11 actually hasn't changed too much, except Jeremy Doku will be starting because he does fit that role better. But it's time to get another left winger. Can we find somebody better than Doku at playmaking? Well, first of all, left wingers like Vinicius Jr. and Barcola nowadays are inside forwards, so there wasn't many options. Kevicha Kvaratskhelia is typically an inside forward, but I also think he's an elite playmaker with his 87 passing. But like I said, I can't really bring in these type of players until at least I win a Champions League. So the only option I have that is world class is Nico Williams. We saw him create chances for Yamal in the Euros. Or do I want to give Doku a chance and go for Jeremy Pino as a back? Because this guy could turn into one of the best playmakers in world football. And keep in mind, we have a bunch of money, so it doesn't matter. And boys, I've decided to go for Nico Williams. They wanted a valuation of 120 million. I want somebody world class to try and win a Champions League already. Let's go 110, and they say yes. So for 110 million, the Spanish man is making his way to Manchester City. He is our second $100 million signing. But can he help us win the Prem and become perfect? And yes, I will actually be starting Nico Williams over Jeremy Doku, because Nico actually has wide playmaker plus, while Doku doesn't even have it at all. Obviously, in the development plans, I'll be giving Nico the wide playmaker, as well as Jeremy Doku. He might come out of nowhere and impress me, and he can finally start. But up next, it's that backup to Nico O'Reilly. Somebody good enough to be his backup, but not to take his minutes. And I do have a couple options. The first one being Theo Hernandez. Yes, at 29 years old, he's very cheap, but he has a lot of experience and can teach Nico Williams a couple things. The second option is somebody a bit younger, Miguel Gutierrez. He is a great fullback and wouldn't be the starter. However, because he's young, he might want to leave in 1 or 2 seasons time, and we're just wasting time on him. So that's why I think the perfect option is someone like Anthony Robertson. In the tail end of his career, has a little bit of Prem experience to show Nico O'Reilly, and more importantly, wouldn't mind being a backup. And look, let's take a look. Let's offer him a sporadic role, and he wants rotation. I told you, he doesn't want to start. This is good. So for 18 million, the man with the coolest nickname, Jedi Robinson, is now the backup to Nico O'Reilly. And he's now going to be a great backup option. But speaking of backup options, Ryan Cherky needs somebody to back him up. And I actually decided to go back on my word and go for Jeremy Pino, but this time for the right-hand side. He is right-footed after all, so he can create chances. This Spanish man has a lot of potential. And if Ryan Cherky ever leaves, flops, or gets injured, this is a perfect replacement. So there we go. He is now the backup, and our squad is now perfect. But I need more from Erling Haaland. We changed the entire system for him. He needs more than 30 goals, and he needs to help us deliver at least 2 or 3 trophies. If not, maybe I need to move him on for his attitude. And of course, someone like Phil Foden needs to change to the advanced playmaker, and Adam Hosdek as well with their new role. And straight away, we have a chance for our second trophy of our career. This is gonna be a huge test for this season. Come on, it should be an easy victory. 4-1, let's go. Marmoush, Cherky, Foden, and Enzo scoring the goals. No Erling Haaland though. He better do well. But regardless, we get our second trophy. And at the end of the season, the squad looks incredible. Erling Haaland 94, Foden 89, Cherky also 89, Nico Williams 89, 86 Nico O'Reilly, 89 Gavardio, and our midfield looks sweet. Even our bench players growing like Kuzanov, Gueki, Jeremy Doku as well. And there we go. That's the Haaland I have missed. 40 goals for him, 33 goals and 16 assists for Cherky. What happened last year? 15 goals and 9 assists for Nico Williams. Not bad. Savinho only got 1, man. 13 and 14 for Enzo, 13 and 8 for Phil Foden. That is a pretty good season from him, I can't lie. But someone like Jeremy Doku just doesn't get numbers. I know he's effective on the pitch, but I'm glad I brought in Nico Williams. And yes, it's back-to-back Premier Leagues. We get our 3rd trophy, and Nico Williams becomes a perfect signing. Only 3 more left to go. And of course, we get our 2nd Premier League title, but we failed to win the FA Cup, losing to Arsenal in the final. And we win the Carabao Cup. That's another trophy. And in the Champions League, we did not lose a single game in the league. But round of 16, we lost to Leipzig. Are you serious, man? Come on. As somehow Haaland did not win the Golden Boot, it's given to JP. As the Champions League was won by Barca, I smell another Yamal Ballon d'Or. And yes, it is another Lamine Ballon d'Or as expected. Haaland, I need you to step it up, man. We need to win a Champions League. But now in Season 3, Foden has 11 months left on his contract. Is he going to be our permanent number 10? And boys, as you can see, I've caught him into our office. He has impressed me enough, not only in his overall, but his numbers have been pretty decent. However, with someone like Foden, I want to continue to test him, especially because he's a future legend of this club. I'm gonna give him another 2 years, but but I'm expecting him to at least top the assist charts or the top goal scoring charts in these next 2 seasons. If not, I'm sorry, I'm gonna replace him. So this is what our squad looks like for the new season as we aim for a Champions League win and a Haaland Ballon d'Or win as well. And Ruben Diaz is getting up there in age, and I actually want to go ahead and swap him out for Mark Guehi to be the new starter. But the question is, should Guehi be the captain, or who should I sign the armband? And that's where it's time for our next unexpected event, and it's I'm That Guy from Josko Gavardio. Boss, I heard you need a new captain. I think I'm the perfect fit. I'm easily the second best player on this team. I demand that armband, and not only that, I want the second most wages in the team behind Haaland. Don't disrespect me because you can't replace me. And whoa. I love Josko Gavardio, but that's not how you speak to your manager. Erling Haaland, at least when he came to me, he had his reasoning, and he was polite about it. And this really sucks because I cannot have this guy roaming around the squad with the armband. So we're actually gonna transfer list him because he wants to be the second highest paid. It would be like around 700k. A center back should never make that much money unless you're Virgil van Dijk. So as we're getting ready to sell Gavardio, Kuzanov will be in the starting 11 for now. And I've decided on our brand new cap, and it's the man we're gonna continue to test in, Phil Foden. He's Mr. Man City for a reason. But he's not the only one being sold, as Omar Marmoush has requested a transfer. And unfortunately, also Adam Hosleg, he was supposed to be the second coming of Foden if we ever got rid of him. So we're selling Adam Hosleg to Fulham, and Omar Marmoush is landing on his feet at Tottenham. And of course, Chelsea won a toxic personality. You know what, Chelsea? You can have him. I'm not scared of Gavardio. So there he goes. Josko Gavardio. To be fair, it's gonna be hard to replace him, but he has a big mouth for a guy who got embarrassed by Messi at the World Cup a couple years ago. But those three weren't the only ones we sold, as we sold Simpson, Endala, Max, Divan Mumbamba, Finley, Gorman. They never reached their potential or didn't even make it close. So the squad wasn't really affected other than that starting center back row. Ruben Diaz will be taking a back seat. So let's go ahead and find a world-class center back. And the best left-footed center back available is the likes of William Pacho and Gabriel Magalhaes. No Champions League. We can't steal players from other Champions League rivals. That also includes Alessandro Bastoni, who I'm sure wouldn't mind coming to City. So that leaves me with Gonzalo Inacio, who simply isn't good enough yet. So it's either Alessandro Bangiorno, who's at an 85, which is not bad, or Nico Schlotterbeck. Come on, Dortmund are in Champions League competition. So for 68 million, I am signing Schlotterbeck. Yes, I know everybody signs him, but he's legitimately our only option, especially if we want to win the Champions League this year. So Nico Schlotterbeck would now be paired up next to Mark Guehi, but now it's time to find a backup to Phil Foden and maybe a future replacement. Same with Erling Braut Haaland. And we could do what we did last time and go young for someone like Ibrahim Massa or Alberto Moreiro, who won't start right away and could potentially replace Phil Foden. Or shall we go for someone world-class like Kenan Yildiz, Nico Paz, who's still at Como, or even bring back Cole Palmer, because come on, Chelsea aren't a serious club. But I'm doing it. I have to get ahead of the curve. For 150 million, Nico Paz is now joining and will swap roles with Foden. The fact that he's still at Como, I had a fear that somebody was going to pick him up, and I'd rather have him here than anybody else have him. So yes, he'll be part of the rotation, which puts even more pressure on our captain, Phil Foden. And the first option is basically Erling Haaland but Spanish, and that is Samu. This is a guy that can start in the future for City, but I have a feeling he would want to leave if he doesn't start. I would have loved to go for Brian Maggio. He's another big man with a lot of potential, but he's not even good enough to be a backup, but I might come back in for him later. Or I can just sign players that will never start at City. Someone like Jean-Philippe Mateta would love to be a backup, or even Igor Thiago, who's now at AS Roma. And for 50 million, I decided on Igor Thiago. He is a great backup. I know he isn't the fastest, but coming off the bench rarely, like in the 80th minute, he should definitely hit in a couple goals. And there we go. That is another great backup signing. I'm very excited for this squad. I think this is the team that wins the Champions League. But to be honest, it's gonna be on these three guys: Haaland, Foden, and Ryan Cherky if we do so. And of course, if we win another Premier League, Nico Paz will be our third perfect $100 million signing. And 34 goals this year for Erling Haaland. Not his best, but if he won the Champions League, it doesn't matter. 20 goals and 13 assists for Enzo, 17 and 14 for Anderson, 16 and 5 for Nico, 15 and 11 for Foden, 15 and 17 for Cherky. Even Doku finally getting some output. Well, Nico Paz got 10 assists off the bench. Oh, he's ready to take over Foden if we end up getting rid of him. And now we have a 90 rated Nico, 91 rated Foden, 89 Cherky, 91 center midfield. Guehi has fully replaced Diaz, Schlotterbeck 89, Nico O'Reilly 88. And someone like Rico Lewis, Kuzanov, and Yuri Pino are really sneaking up. And yes, it's another Premier League title. That is our third. We get our 5th trophy, but more importantly, a third perfect perfect 100 million signing. But we failed to win the Community Shield. We win our first FA Cup. The treble is on, you know. And we win the Carabao Cup, an English domestic treble. But of course, that doesn't count towards the actual treble. And in the Champions League, we finished in 5th place this year. Round of 16, we smashed United. Quarterfinals, we beat Paris. Semi-finals, we got spanked by Real Madrid. What is going on with our team? Why can't we win a Champions League, man? As it was won by Real Madrid again, beating Arsenal. And it's a third Ballon d'Or for Lamine Yamal. Erling Haaland is not even competing, man. And things are not bad when it comes to our 8 trophies, 3 perfect 100 mil signings, and our 3 prems. But that UCL treble and Ballon d'Or wins are looking impossible. But to kick off the new season, we have our unexpected event, and this is the worst one yet. It is transfer request, and it's 2 players coming in. First, Haaland says, I have decided to leave the club. No UCL or Ballon d'Or, no more Erling Haaland. But however, Donnarumma has given us some leverage. Boss, some of the others and I have decided if we do not win UCL this season, we will be leaving just like Haaland because this club is not like it used to be. So there we go. Erling Braut Haaland is leaving, and he is joining PSG for like 200 million. He did us well, but he is right. This club is falling apart. We can't win a Champions League, and we have some of the best players in world football. This Man City job is way harder than I thought it would be. But I was also able to sell Ruben Dias for 71 million to Borussia Dortmund. And obviously the big loss is Erling Braut Haaland. I'm not trusting Thiago to start. We're signing a new striker. And I think other than that, we just need one more backup center back. And boys, honestly, I'm stuck between Samu, who I've already talked about, but Victor Osimhen has just been replaced by Erling Haaland. He might be angry and hungry to win some trophies. And that's what I decided on. For only 50 million, we're signing probably one of the world's best strikers. He's an insane presser, just like Haaland. Maybe we need someone like him to win the Champions League. If not, Donnarumma and some others will leave the club. And for 70 million, I decided to go back in for Gonçalo Inacio. We needed a backup left-footed center back, and he is the future of this club for as long as he wants to stay here. So there we go. Inacio's now the backup. He's out for 100 more days, but he's going to be a fine backup alongside Kuzanov. And just a reminder, Phil Foden did not top the assist charts in the Prem last year, or the Champions League either. And he does have 1 year left on his contract. Maybe this time around, I won't sell him if he fails, but maybe move him to the bench for Nico Bass, who hasn't been bad. But can we win our first ever Champions League without Erling Braut Haaland? And yes, for a 4th time, we win another Premier League. Only 2 left to go. And we win a Community Shield as well. We win the FA Cup. The treble is on. But we just failed to win every trophy in England. So that currently puts us at 11 trophies in only 4 seasons. And in the Champions League, we finished undefeated. Round of 16, we smashed Milan. Quarterfinals, we beat Real Madrid. We got our revenge. Semi-finals, we beat PSG. That's what you get, Haaland. And we're in the final, finally, without Erling Braut Haaland against Inter. And boys, Charles de Ketelaere is a top goal scorer. But our top goal scorer is Elliot Anderson. What's going on, man? Davide Fratesi with 7. And even Ryan Cherky with 7. But in this competition, they have the likes of Barella still, Thuram, Ibrahim Mbaye, who could be a great signing for us in the future. Esposito. They have a great young squad. Even Juma Ba on loan from us. But boys, Phil Foden has not topped the assist charts here at the Champions League, and neither in the Premier League. Maybe it's time for Phil Foden to take up a different role, or maybe even move him on. But right now, all that matters is that we win the Champions League. Our captain Foden is actually out. He's actually out for this final. So of course, Nico Pass will come in. Foden will move as Robinson will come to the bench. Can we win without our El Capitano? And we win our penalties. Oh my days, 9-8. I'm trying to see who scored the goal, man. Nico Pass. I think it's time for Nico to take over in the midfield. But we win our first Champions League, which brings us to now 12 total trophies. Are one of our players gonna win the Ballon d'Or though? Well, it's 34 and 23 for Ryan Cherky. Is he gonna be the new main man at this club? 29 goals for Osimhen, 27 and 18 for Elliot Anderson. He's been incredible. 21 and 10 for Nico Williams, and 9 and 10 for Phil Foden. Honestly, isn't bad at all. And as Phil Foden is at a 91 overall, the entire squad looks great. 92 rated Cherky, 90 rated Nico Williams still, Elliot Anderson 92, 92 Schlotterbeck, 94 Donnarumma. He almost wanted to leave, you know. But boys, it's time. Nico Pass is going in that midfield, in that number 10 row. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with Foden just yet. And yes, we get our first Ballon d'Or winner, Ryan Cherky. Who would have thunk it, man? So we get our first Ballon d'Or winner. We need 2 left, 2 more Premier Leagues, 1 more Champions League, 2 more 100 million players, a treble, 13 more trophies. We're halfway there. So season 5, it's time to make a decision. Foden is currently transfer listed because we haven't given him a new contract. Are we going to give it to him? I have the idea of keeping him as a squad player. He's been too crucial to us these past couple years. We're giving him a forever contract, no more testing, but he is no longer the starting 10 here. But to kick off season number 5, we get our unexpected unexpected event, and it's homesick players. And this is coming from Pedro Porro. Boss, Nunez and I have come to you as a trusted gaffer to let you know we miss home. We wish to be transferred back home to Spain and Portugal when it's available. However, we are very proud of what we did here at City, but we now want to go back home. And Pedro Porro has gone to FC Barcelona for around 75 million. He is going to be the one a huge loss. But someone like Mateus Jr., even though he's an 83 overall at Benfica, he was a good leader and a great backup that helped us win the champion. And now at right back, we actually have Rico Lewis, and I want to make sure I give him a chance here. Probably sign a backup, but if he flops, we'll definitely sign another starter. And when it comes to that backup CDM, what if we try to convert Phil Foden into that CDM? Because in reality, it's more of a center mid deep line playmaker role. And that way, we can trust Neapan or Echeverri to be the backup 10. So there we go. Phil Foden is now a center mid slash CDM. Went down a -3 to an 87. But we must work on perfecting that role, so the deep line playmaker is what he's going to get. And I'm going to be trusting Neapan to be the backup to Nico Paz. And for 42.5 million, I've decided to bring in Zakaria El Ouadi, a Moroccan right back, to be the backup to Rico Lewis. And at an 84 overall, I don't think he's bad at all. And those are the final transfers I am making, as it's time to pick a new captain because Foden's now on the bench. I know Mark Guehi is a great shout, but weirdly, I'm gonna give it to Nico O'Reilly. He's a great leader, and I could see him staying in the lineup for the rest of his career, as long as he doesn't want to leave. And this time, it's Osimhen with 35 goals, 23 and 13 for Nico, 22 and 25 for Anderson. But Ryan Cherky wasn't the best player in the world this year. And not bad for the rest of our side, including our captain, Nico O'Reilly. And we have won our 5th Premier League in a row, undefeated, one more, and we tie Guardiola's. I think that's a new record too. We win the Community Shield, that's another trophy. We don't win the FA Cup, the treble is still not on. But we win the Carabao Cup, and we win our first Super Cup. So now that brings us to 16 trophies. And we finished in first place in the league. Round of 16, we beat United again. Quarterfinals, we beat Chelsea. Semifinals, we beat Barcelona. But we faced PSG and Erling Haaland in the UCL final. And yo, shout out to Anthony Gordon with 14 goals in the comp. But Victor Osimhen is second with 11. Who is PSG's top goal scorers? Of course, it's Kivicha. And Bradley Barcola has 6, while Erling Haaland only has 5. But they still have an incredible super team. But remember, we beat them last year. But Elliot Anderson at a 94 overall will be missing out on this game. Phil Foden's coming back in here. But look at the rest of the squad. Osimhen 90, 92 for Williams, Nico Paz 89, 93 Cherky, 87 Rico Lewis, 90 Nico O'Reilly. Our squad is incredible. But are we gonna go ahead and win our second and final Champions League? No, it's a 4-3 loss, as Nico Paz and Williams score our goal. And yup, Kivicha Kvaratskhelia wins the Ballon d'Or. That is expected. So in the new season, straight away we get our next unexpected event, and it's a new generation. The club wants you to get rid of 3 players that are 29 years or older, that are either starters or first subs. Because with the team doing so well, we want to make sure that this form never dies out and we continue. And honestly, boys, that is acceptable. Look how many players we have over the age of 29 or 29 years old. And the first player I think I want to get rid of is actually Jeremy Doku. He was never a world beater here at City, but he was always a great backup. The second player I actually want to get rid of was our very first signing in Enzo Fernandez. We could get a lot of money for him, and I think we have some great replacements already. And finally, Nico Schlotterbeck for the same reason. We could get a little bit of money. He is one of the world's best. We have some great replacements. And when it comes to the first team replacements, I think Kuzanov, it's time for him to really start. Next to Elliot Anderson, we're bringing back Phil Foden for now. But maybe Nico Gonzalez could burst in. And I'll actually be moving Victor Rice finally to the first team. No more loans for him. And it's going to be the same for Jeremy Monga. 81 overall. I think he's ready to help us win more trophies. And I'm going to accept the offer for Schlotterbeck for Tottenham. And Wolves have the money to play for Enzo? Go for it, man. And Jeremy Doku will be going to Brighton. So with all the sales out of the way, we're just missing a backup CDM or maybe a starter. And I think it's time to bring in Ayub Buadi. 85 overall, can definitely become the future starter alongside Anderson. And it only costed us 80 million to bring him in. We have amazing squad depth. Can we go to a 3rd Champions League final in a row? So there we go. Buadi joins the bench. But next season, I want to focus on bringing in another number 9 because Osimhen's 32. Another backup left back because Robinson's about to start going down. And with Guehi being 31, hopefully Victor Rice or Inacio will be ready to start. And yes, 3 UCL finals in a row. This time, we have to win it. Oh, especially with Victor Osimhen, the top goal scorer at 33 years old, I think. And even Elliot Anderson with 10, while Barcelona's top goal scorer only has 6 in Nadir Hamoud. And in this competition, Lamine has 5. He's always a danger. Fermin, 4 and 5. 4 and 2 for former player Pedro Porro. Their team still looks great, but I think our team is better. But there's a problem, boys. Nico Paz is injured for 19 days. Ryan Cherky is out for the next 7. He might play, though. Donnarumma just got an ACL injury for a whole year. Boys, this is bad, because our backup keeper is 64 rated Ruli. But I'm I'm not too worried because Pierce Charles has been out on loan and is now at an 84 overall. We're going to go ahead and bring him back. So this is what the starting 11 will look like in the UCL final tonight. Come on, Man City. We could beat FC Barcelona despite the injuries, and it's a 3-1 loss. Ansu Fati scores a hat-trick in the final. Are you serious? But at least we win another Premier League title. And that was our final one. We win our 6. We've matched Pep Guardiola. We win the Community Shield. We win the FA Cup. If we would have won tonight, we would have had the treble. We win the Carabao Cup as well. So that's 4 more trophies. We now have 20. And what a season for Osimhen. 48 goals for him. 31 and 17 for Elliot Anderson. 26 and 9 for Nico Williams. 17 and 20 for Ryan Cherky. And 15 and 4 for Jeremy Pino. And our team is crazy. Osimhen went back up to a 90. Nico Paz is also at a 90 despite the injury. Cherky 93. 92 for Williams. 96 Anderson. Our whole backline is almost at a 90. I think another UCL final is waiting for us next year. And oh my days, Elliot Anderson is the Ballon d'Or winner. Just like Rodri. I mean, 96 overall, it's expected. So we get our second Ballon d'Or winner. All we're missing is one more. Our first treble, our second Champions League, 5 more trophies, 2 perfect signings over 100 mil. I'm actually gonna make those next season. And then the new season, everyone is back from injury, as Nico O'Reilly's only gone for 6 days, except Donnarumma, who's gonna be out for another year. But that has led to some bad news, the unexpected event, and its retirement. Donnarumma says, "Hey boss, this ACL injury has really took me out. I've won enough in my career, so I have decided to retire. However, I do believe Charles is something special. You should give him a chance at number 1 this season." And now with Donnarumma gone, here's Charles is only at an 84, but he's been out on loan for years. But his value has skyrocketed 74%. It means he has great potential. And he does have high arrows in every stat, so it means he's gonna grow a lot. You know what? Screw it. Let's give him the goalkeeper role and give him this 1 season. But he better get us to a Champions League final. If not, we're replacing him. But like I mentioned, it's time to bring in a new striker. And Nico Gonzalez is actually being starting 11. And let's bring in another center back. Let's try to bring in the world's best players. And boys, I want to bring in Endrick, who is at Brentford, man. Paul Kubarsi. This is the only way we win our remaining items. So for 105 million, Sir Bobby Charlton comes to Man City. And for 150 million, Paul Kubarsi. If we win the Premier League this year, we'll complete our 5 perfect 100 mil signings. And they are both brilliant additions to the starting 11. We have an amazing squad, including the reserves. But is Donnarumma right about Pierre Charles? And surprisingly, the top goal scorer was Osimhen. 23 and 23 for Anderson, 23 and 14 for Williams, 10 and 14 for Cherky, 10 goals for Thiago. Where is Endrick? He only played 22 games and scored 4. Oh, what a flop, man. But we get the Premier League win, which means we have completed the 5 perfect transfers. But we failed to win the Community Shield. But we win the FA Cup, the triple's still on, and we win the Carabao. So now we have 23 trophies, making it impossible to win the 25th this year. But we finished in 4th place in the Champions League. Round of 16, we smacked Liverpool. Quarterfinals, we beat Leverkusen up pens. And semis, we beat Paris. And we faced Barca again in the final. The chance to win the treble. And top goal scorer is whoever this guy is. But Osimhen is still going strong, man. Fair play to him. While Barcelona's top goal scorer is Oscar Gistao. And the team looks exactly the same as a couple years ago when we lost to them final. But this is what the squad looks like. Anderson, last year's Ballon d'Or winner, who's at a 98 overall, by the way, is injured. And Cherky is... I cannot believe this. But shout out to Shea Charles, who's now at an 89 in his first season starting for City. But Phil Foden will be starting this game. And Jeremy Pino will be starting on the right. I'm giving Foden back his armband for this UCL final. But don't tell me injuries will cost us our treble and our final Champions League. And yes, 3-1, we win it. 2 goals from Osimhen, 1 from Nico Williams. So we complete the Champions League goal and the treble. But if we win this 3rd Ballon d'Or, we're gonna automatically fail the 25 trophy. We just missed it by 1, if anything. And yes, we get our final Ballon d'Or winner. Osimhen wins it, completing all of our challenges but the trophies. And if you guys enjoyed this video, click on this video right here. I know you're gonna love it.